Okay, time for a bit of an adrenaline rush. Holy! Good morning, guys. It is day 3 of our road trip from Vancouver, BC to Grand Bend, Ontario. We just left our hotel here in Winnipeg. Our destination tonight is Wawa, Ontario. It's about a 12 and a half hour drive. It's 9 a.m. right now, and that's also an hour ahead there too. So we're probably gonna get in around midnight-ish, I guess, when you account for fuel stops and stuff. And driving through on northern Ontario, this is the part I was least looking forward to the whole trip. It's just a lot of two-lane highway and twisty roads and low speed limits, so it's going to take a bit of time, but the scenery is very beautiful, and we've of course got the time lapse going for you guys again. So by the time this is all said and done, you guys should pretty much have been for a virtual tour from Vancouver to Ontario, Grand Bend. So we'll check in with you guys in a little bit, and let's hit the road. So we've been on the road for about an hour and a bit, and we're just driving through Whiteshell Provincial Park in Manitoba, and it's really beautiful here. We're about to be crossing over into Ontario shortly. Actually, right now there's the sign. So we're now in Ontario. We've got a full day of driving today and another full day of driving tomorrow, and we're gonna finally be at our destination. And so I guess I never really went over kind of the reasons that I ended up trading the 1320 in and buying the Trackhawk. So if you've been following the channel for a while or reading our website, you'll know that we had some paint issues with the 1320. So in the wheel wells, there was what the body shop called clear coat pops. They're basically aerated bubbles of clear in the tops of the wheel wells. So FCA stepped up right away. I've got absolutely no complaints with FCA Canada, Dodge, nothing like that. So it's not like a little hate campaign deal. And they wanted to get it taken care of. So we ended up scheduling the car in to get basically 3/4 of the car had to get re-clear coated. So scheduled the car in, and it went in early September. Now we found the issues in June. By early September, the bubbles and stuff, just as I had predicted and why I wanted to get it taken care of, it wasn't really an aesthetic thing. Nobody would see it unless I told them about it. But by then, it was already, the clear was already chipping off and everything there. And myself and the service manager at the dealership were kind of had the same concerns with corrosion or rust starting in the fenders if we left it. So early September it went into the body shop, and while it was in the body shop, I ended up going to look at a Grand Cherokee high altitude for my parents. And I got to the dealership and I was talking to my buddy there, and he was telling me about this Charger Hellcat that they'd just got, asking if I'd be interested in trading the 1320 in on that. I was kind of not too sure. It was a used 2015, low mileage, but it was black, and I've had enough black cars that I know I don't ever want another black car. And somebody else brought up this Trackhawk that they've had sitting on the lot for about a year, a little over a year, brand new. So I ended up taking this thing for a test drive. enjoyed it. They sent me home with it overnight. Of course, I fell in love with it. A bunch of my friends saw it, and everybody's general consensus was, yeah, do it. Trade the 1320 in on it. So I started thinking about it long and hard, and I used to run a detailing business, and I'll admit that I am a bit of a perfectionist. I can be pretty hard to please. And I knew that I was never really going to be fully happy knowing that a lot of the car had been re-cleared. There's also the fact that we wanted to make the car a lot faster. There was a lot further that I wanted to go with it. And the problem with the 392, well, it responds well to minor bolt-ons and stuff like that. And the 392 is a great engine, don't get me wrong. It's a torque monster. It's got a lot of power down low. But for my end goal, I wanted to put a Whipple on it. And at that point, you're doing forged pistons and rods. Up here in Canada, the Whipple supercharger is about $12,500 before you added taxes, and then you've got the pistons, rods, the labor to do that if I didn't do it myself. So it starts to add up real quick, and because the dealer was so motivated to get rid of this Trackhawk, you can get insane deals on 2018 Trackhawks right now if you can find them. They were really motivated to get rid of it, and of course White Rock Dodge is a great friend of the site. They're one of our sponsors, and quite a few of my friends work there. So I got a pretty unreal deal on the Trackhawk, and they gave me excellent trade-in value for the 1320. So at that point, I just decided, yeah, let's do it. So the rest is history. There's a lot of people in the comments, oh, you should have kept your 1320. Oh, you're going to regret it. No. The 1320 is a great car. The Trackhawk's kind of on a whole other level, especially with that Hellcat motor. It's so easy to modify and cheap to modify. I was talking to one of my friends last time we were at the track. I believe I've mentioned this in one of the videos before. And they've got a proven setup that they use on these Hellcats that puts down 800 wheel horsepower and can be done for under $3,000 Canadian. So that's going to happen to this thing. And it's a super stout drivetrain too in these. A lot of people don't know that the Trackhawk actually has the 8HP 95 transmission, which is the same transmission as the Demon, while the Charger and Challenger Hellcats have the 8HP 90, as well as the all-wheel drive system. And this thing, it's so over-engineered, and it's really tough. You don't see a lot of people breaking stuff on these. There's a lot of 1,000 horsepower Hellcats on YouTube, and as far as I know, all the driveline stock, and these people aren't breaking these things, which honestly is pretty unreal. Because even stock, this thing launches so hard and leaves so hard that I was always worried about, like, since I got it, I'm like, holy crap, how does this thing not break? It's that violent. You really have to experience a launch in one of these things to really get it. But these things leave hard. You can watch videos all day long of these things out launching McLarens, supercars, everything. So it's a really impressive SUV, and it's going to be a great platform to build on to reach my goals. So I'm extremely happy with this vehicle. Funnily enough, these Trackhawks, they're like 5,400 5,500 pounds, but it feels more nimble than the 1320 did. And I thought the 1320 was a good handling car for its size. It's not a track monster or anything like that, as I've said before. But the Challengers kind of get a bad rap for being boats, and they kind of get crapped on a bit unfairly. People say, oh, they don't handle, which I don't think is the case. That said, I'm super impressed with how well this Trackhawk handles, actually. And I might be putting that to the test. We've got a lot going on here over the next couple days, so I'm going to be at my final destination in Ontario on the 20th. 21st kind of gives me a bit of a day of downtime. I want to get this Trackhawk all cleaned up because it's just filthy right now. I'm also going to meet up with a friend of ours and a 5th Gen Rams forum member who has built his own 2019 Ram Rebel TRX. He started off with a Ram Rebel crew cab 5'7" box. They added the Fiberworks wide body fender kit to it and bed sides. He's got a lift on it, different wheels and tires, and they swapped a Hellcat motor into it. So that's going to be a really awesome truck. We're going to be checking that out. I believe I'm going to get a chance to drive it. He's also going to be at the drag racing event on the 22nd, so that's going to be cool. We're going to have a lot of stuff going on there. It sounds like there's going to be some really cool vehicles at the event, so I'm really looking forward to it. After that, the 23rd, I still have a few things going on. On the 24th, I have to fly home to Vancouver to go to a Ram Media event on the 25th, where we're going to be taking the new Ram Rebel and the new Ram Power Wagon off-roading up in Whistler. So that's going to be really cool. I'm going to enjoy that. The 26th, I fly back to Toronto, and I've got a few things to do still for the next couple days. On the 29th, I was talking to the guys from the Straight Pipes, and if you haven't seen their channel, it's awesome. They're probably the biggest Canadian car review channel out right now, and they're killing it. Their videos are absolutely unreal. So I was talking to them, and they are doing a track day at Toronto Motorsports Park on the 29th. So there's going to be, road course sessions, drag racing, and stuff like that. There's a really good chance that I'm going to take the Trackhawk. I was thinking about just doing the drag racing sessions, but we might actually do the road course with it as well. So might have some really cool stuff coming up for you guys there. And then after that, it's going to be another 4-day drive home to Vancouver. So I've had this Trackhawk for still less than 2 weeks. It's got 4,400 kilometers on it as of right now. And when I got rid of the 1320, I traded it in. Actually, it was still in the body shop when I traded it in, getting the clear coat redone on it. And I think it had about 5,800 kilometers on it when I traded it in. So we're going to be surpassing that very quickly here. Okay guys, so we just stopped for the second fill up of the day. The TFT display shows 11.5 liters per 100K at 567 kilometers on this tank. I just filled up. I'm going to pull away from the pump and hand calculate it. If we got anywhere near that, I'm going to be very, very impressed. Okay, so our distance on that tank was 567 kilometers, and it took 66.747 liters. Now, upon hand calculating it, remember the display was showing 11.5 liters per 100 kilometers. We were actually very close. So we came up with 11.77 liters per 100 kilometers. And to give you an idea of what that is in miles per gallon, that is 19.98 US MPG. So essentially 20 miles per gallon out of that tank. That's very impressive to me. Our average speed was about 65 miles an hour. The speed limits are a little lower here, but that also did include some stop and go driving in traffic. So that is very, very impressive to me from this vehicle, especially when you keep in mind it's EPA rated at 17 highway and 13 city, and we just got essentially 20 miles per gallon out of it. So not bad at all.